Hi there, today we're going to discuss the importance of practicing self-love. You've heard of self-love before, you're curious about what it is and why it's even important to practice self-love. I'm going to share with you some benefit of practicing self-love, and if you watch this video until the end, there's also going to be a bonus. So if this is your first time here, I welcome you. In this channel, I discuss all things inspirational, motivational, self-love related to encourage you so that you can take the journey inside of you to fall madly in love with yourself, so that you can design your life to your liking and find true happiness from inside. If this sounds good to you, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified of new content. So let's get this started. Hi there, Rose here, the Happiness Warrior. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're discussing the importance of practicing self-love. First of all, what is self-love? Self-love is described as the state of appreciation for oneself that grows from actions that support our physical, psychological, and spiritual growth. Self-love is the action of putting your needs above others so that you don't become a people pleaser, so that you don't settle for less than what you deserve. So, what are some benefits of practicing self-love? This is the number one, and honestly, if you don't remember anything from this video, one of the benefits of practicing self-love is so that you are not a magnet for people who have bad intention or who are not clear about what they want. I'm going to mention one of the things, which is dealing with a narcissistic person, someone with narcissistic traits in a higher spectrum of narcissism, or someone who has a narcissistic personality disorder. Regardless, when you don't love yourself, you are a perfect A-quality supply for a narcissistic person. And narcissistic are also described as emotional vampire. They will suck the life out of you, and even if you have nothing left, they will keep sucking and sucking and sucking and sucking and sucking. So this helps you protect yourself against people out there who are working on what have you, right? Like, the most important thing is to practice self-love so you can protect yourself. Another benefit of practicing self-love is that it's good for your mental health, especially if you struggle with things like anxiety or depression. Once you start practicing self-love, you're better equipped to do things such as mindfulness, just paying attention to the thought in your mind, being in the moment. So it's gonna help you and keep those mental health, anxiety and depression at bay. The third benefit of practicing self-love is that overall it's good for greater life satisfaction. What do I mean by that? When you start practicing self-love, it changes your perspective, therefore changing the way you see the world. Because remember, everything happens here. Every change that you make initially happens over here. So if you change the way things are here, you're going to be able to change the way things are on the outside. Every change begins here. Another benefit of practicing self-love is so that you can love others more. You cannot pour from an empty tank. If there's nothing left for you to give, you will not be able to give love to others if you have nothing left to give. If you're not taking care of yourself physically, if you're not taking care of yourself psychologically or mentally, if you're not taking care of your emotional health, you're not going to have anything left to give others. So ultimately, everything that we do, every changes that we make about ourselves actually benefit the world. And so benefit number 5, it helps you pick up healthier habits, like set healthier habits for yourself. Because as you practice in self-love, you realize that it's not just about, for some people, taking bubble bath or pedicure and manicure. It's also about rest. It's also about taking care of your mind. It's also about taking care of your physical health. It's also about taking care of your spiritual health. So as you're doing all that, you start paying more attention, and from there you pick healthier habits that are good for your body. So I have just shared with you 5 benefits of practicing self-love. So if you're still here and you're still watching this video, well, great, because remember I talked about that bonus. But also, if you want to know more about self-love, please check out my website, or my blog site if you rather. It's www.thehappinesswarrior.com. So it's with thehappinesswarrior.com, where you can pick up a free copy of my ebook about self-love. Now remember, this is only available for a limited time only, so if you don't get this for free, it's not always going to be free. So head over to my website and get a copy of your free book right now. Now, another thing that I wanted to discuss, for those of you who were able to stay until the end, it's the bonus. So bonus number 1, I want to share with you some of the things you can start doing right now to practice self-love. Bonus number 1, listen to your inner voice. So there are many names for this. Some call it the inner voice, some call it the inner critic. My favorite word for this is your inner bully. It is that voice that's telling you you're not good enough, you're not this, you're not that. It is that voice that punishes you. You use that voice to punish yourself and call yourself names. So, to begin practicing self-love, listen to that inner voice and rephrase the thing that the inner voice is saying to you about you. You have to watch the way you talk to yourself about you. I promise you, once you start doing this and listening to your thought, you're going to hear those words, you're going to stop them on the track, and you're going to rephrase it. Because remember, you haven't been practicing self-love, you haven't been practicing mindfulness all your life. You're going to mess up, I promise. But if you keep practicing, you'll get better. Bonus number 2. Another way to practice self-love is by being active. When you're active, it's good for your mind. The movement is good for you regardless of how you feel. I know that some days, and like I say, if you're like me and you deal with depression and anxiety, I know sometimes we plan so much, we feel so paralyzed, we really want to get up and do the simplest thing, and it's difficult. But I promise you, any movement helps. Whether it's just stretches, whether it's just moving around, whether it's just dancing or doing jumping jacks, it's good for you. So some of the ways to practice self-love is by moving. Another way of practicing self-love is to practice saying no. N-O. No is a complete sentence. Learn to say no so you can set healthier boundaries. You're not loving yourself by sacrificing yourself. It is not a compromise, by sacrificing yourself so that others can be happy. Learn to say no. No is a complete sentence, and I promise you, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and you will feel better about yourself. Because when you do things for other people that you don't want to do and you feel terrible about it, it doesn't help anybody. So if you've watched this video until the end, you've been able to hear the bonus. I am so glad to have you here today. So to help me out, I would love to hear your feedback. So again, give me a thumbs up. If you loved this video, give me a thumbs down. If you didn't, and tell me why. What is something that you do to practice self-love? What are some of your self-love practices? Feel free to share below so we can add to the list. I don't have the monopoly on self-love. If there are more practices, so go ahead and share that with me below. And if more benefit, if you want to share more benefit of the importance of practicing self-love, let me know below too. As always, please love yourself, take care of yourself. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.